some of the exam changes that were recently done by OSCP, and also in parallel, as a second bullet point, we will take a look at what are some of the best exam preparation approaches. That said, let's head on to another very interesting point, which is related to bonus. Right, so bonus is something which we always recommend our students to do, and if they are unable to do that, we try to support them in the best possible ways. And how is that? How does that work? The next topic, which is of great concern for us. So there are a few ways that we can approach the exam, pretty much on the lines of that we just discussed. So there is one approach that we have mentioned in the gray color, and then there is another which we have mentioned in the white boxes. Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of OSCP exam preparation and some of its insights from 591 Lab. If you haven't already, please do make sure to watch our previous session on the same topic, where we delve a little bit deeper into some of the insights related to OSCP exam and how you can pass that, and some of the real world experiences that we have had with several of our students. So we will link the video down below. You can watch it from there, and in this video we will actually take even deeper look and look at some of the practical keys to success that you can follow and ensure that you pass the exam in your very first attempt. And also in parallel, you will also learn some of the ways towards exam solutions. So we will be covering all of those topics in this video. And in the meanwhile, if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do make sure to subscribe to that, and also hit that bell icon so that whenever we continue to upload new videos, new content, you are notified proactively from our side. So with that said, let's step a little bit into the introduction of 591 Lab. So basically, we are the top IT training and certification exam brand in China, Hong Kong, Taiwan, and Singapore. And but at the same time, we provide trainings to our students or clients from all across the globe, even professional students and people who have been in the industry for quite some time come to us for trainings, considering the quality that we deliver. And our mission at 591 Lab is to essentially provide our clients with exceptional exam preparation experience for certifications from Cisco, Huawei, Aruba, Juniper, Palo Alto, OffSec, and Fortinet. So again, our intent is to ensure the best skill set that the industry has to offer. And with that, we will step into the next slide. So basically, from my side, I am a red team lead, I'm working with several ethical hacking groups and companies, which has improved my skill set over the past few years. And I must say that OSCP exam, which I completed quite some time ago now, has been instrumental in my success. Along with OSCP, I have done a couple of other offensive security certifications as well, which is something that improves my expertise to the level that I can train you guys to a great extent. If you consider joining our training institute, that will be even better. But at the same time, we do want to give back to the community, for which we are striving to make sure that we produce best quality content for YouTube as well. I myself has over 12 years of cybersecurity experience, and my experience encompasses domains like software, hardware, cloud, all of those stuff. So I am a full-fledged ethical hacker, and all of my experience is essentially related to offensive security area, which essentially gives me the ability to focus on one domain, but make sure that I have in-depth expertise there to support 591 Lab's mission. So now coming to the point about what you will learn today. So basically, there are quite a few things that we intend to teach you in this specific video. So we will start off with some of the exam changes that were recently done by OSCP, and also in parallel, as a second bullet point, we will take a look at what are some of the best exam preparation approaches, and as a third point, we will tell you how you can get bonus points. So some of the proven tips that several of our students have had already, which gives you at least 10 bonus points, where you need 70 points in total to pass the exam. So yeah, the next point would be how you approach the exam, basically to ensure your success. And next we will take a look at the actual roadmap of study and practice that you should follow, which will follow the further topic, which would be the keys to success. And this is an important point there, where we will show you some of the statistical data about what ensures your success in the OSCP exam. Then we will take a look at some of the exam like challenges that you must ensure that you are familiar with. And if you want our support, then definitely feel free to get in touch with us, where we will support you and guide you in ensuring that you complete the solutions which are similar to the questions or problems that you will face during the exam. And then we will also teach you how you can set up your own exam environment for your practice work. And as a third last point, we will take a look at how you can manage time during your exam. And then the second last point would be the reporting guidelines, which will follow our conclusion, and how 591 lab can actually help you accelerating your progress. For example, if you are doing self-study, it may take you 1.5 years to get the expertise, but if you come with us, work with us, essentially watch our YouTube videos, and even get one-on-one sessions from our trainers, then obviously the acceleration or the pace of your learning will be a lot faster. So with that said, let's head on to the first topic, which is exam structure. So basically, if you have been familiar with the overall OSCP exam structure, then historically there has been a buffer overflow machine, and then there used to be 4 or 5 different machines which you needed to compromise. But all of that has changed recently, not too recently actually, but the change has been in place for quite some time, and it is good for you to understand that change in depth, and so that you can strategize how you will approach the exam and pass the exam. So what is the latest exam structure? So in the latest exam structure, basically they have divided the whole thing into 2 major parts, right? So first of all, there are 60 points that you can get from 3 independent targets. Independent target means 3 different machines. Now each of the machine can have multiple services running on it, such as SMB, web, or FTP, those kind of things, right? So what you try to do is you use one of those services to remotely attack the target. That will give you, and if you are able to successfully attack the target and get a reverse shell on a single machine, that will give you 10 points, right? Whereas in total we need 70. So 10 points for this one target. Low privilege shell. When we say low privilege shell, think of it like if you are browsing to a web application, and using the web application you are able to execute OS level commands from there, right? And that is what gives you 10 points. But if you are able to completely compromise the underlying server, which would be using privilege escalation techniques that we will of course teach you, that's our intent. So if you complete all of that, then you get basically 20 points for that target. So if you multiply that by 3, then you get a total of 60 points. Then comes another interesting part. Now I myself call it a low hanging fruit, the AD. Although these are 40 points, no partial points are given, but you know what, we have trained our students to such a great level that they can they can literally crack these 40 points. The reason is that you know, it's very straightforward. You just need to learn a couple of techniques that we will be teaching you, and once you know all of those techniques, then it becomes really a no-brainer. So these 40 points coupled with 2 machines at least from above is something that can help you pass the exam quite easily. So this is the overall latest exam structure that everyone must be familiar with if you ever want to, you know, attempt the exam and consider passing it even in your first try. So with that said, in case you have any question around this, please feel free to leave a comment down below, and one of our media team or I myself will definitely respond back to you. That said, let's head on to another very interesting point, which is related to bonus. Right, so bonus is something which we always recommend our students to do, and if they are unable to do that, we try to support them in the best possible ways. And how is that? How does that work? So you might be thinking, hey, bonus, you just mentioned in the last slide that there is a total of 60 points from here and then 40 from the AD set which you need. Now what is the bonus point thing? So basically bonus point is possible with the help of doing a little bit extra work which you should naturally be doing. The reason is that if you naturally practice your PWK exercises, and also if you naturally practice the machines in your labs, then obviously you will be more skilled. And as an additional benefit of that, you actually get 10 more bonus points, right? And these 10 bonus points reduce your worry during the exam, right? If you are following that along, that would mean if you are able to complete the AD set, 10 bonus points, then there is only one independent target that you need to compromise, and that's it. We have seen our students passing the exam even with 110 points because they smashed the exam plus they had the 10 bonus points. So that is how I also passed my exam. I had my 100 points from the exam itself, which appeared to be pretty straightforward because I was following the exact same approach that I'm showing you right here. So if we move here, I'm just telling you that you just need to complete the 80% of the lab solutions plus 30 lab machines, which in any case, the third bullet point is something that you should be doing. And then you can also track your progress on a panel, which looks like this, this screenshot on the right hand side, where if you have read the text, then it shows you that you have completed it by 6.1%. But what you need to be worried about is the labs and the challenge labs, right? So labs refer to basically your practice during the exercises which are part of the PDF or the textbook, and the challenge labs are essentially your challenge complete end-to-end machines, just like the ones that you may encounter during the exam as well. So this is something which again is naturally required for the exam preparation. Plus, if you do it rightly and submit all of the solutions properly, then you have an additional benefit of getting the 10 bonus points, which increases your chances of passing the exam. Right. So with that said, let's head on to the next topic, which is of great concern for us. So there are a few ways that we can approach the exam pretty much on the lines of that we just discussed. So there is one approach that we have mentioned in the gray color, and then there is another which we have mentioned in the white boxes. So let's take a look at the gray one. So what does it say? So you can get the bonus points, 10 points for that, and then you can complete the AD set, which is a low-hanging fruit. We must understand this. As you will observe during our next couple of videos, we will show you some of the solutions and some of the techniques which are really proven, and that is what comes in the exam as well. So AD set, 10 bonus points, one machine, that's it. You've got the 70 points. Otherwise, there is another approach that you can also follow, completing the AD set, which again is a low-hanging fruit. So we keep it in both of the options. Then you can complete one machine, 20 points, total of 60, and then finally another machine with a low privilege shell only. That will give you another 10 points, so a total of 70 points. So either way you get 70 points, but the benefit of the first approach is that you also get the 10 bonus points, but that certainly requires a lot of effort during the preparation phase, which is natural. And you also get a lot of support from the Discord channel that 591 Lab that OSCP has, and you can also get in touch with us in case you need any kind of support there. So these are the two ways that we usually get our students passed through. Then moving on to the next slide. Now this slide is something which kind of provides you an A to Z path or a strategy guide to from preparation towards the exam. So if we start from the left hand side of the arrow, then basically it's the time when you do the registration. So what happens? Once you have registered for the PWK course, basically that is the day when you get the video and PDF content. Once you have that, we usually recommend the students to complete the material to the best possible extent. For example, go over the PDF, watch the videos. Okay, here is the trick now. You can even skim through the PDF and videos. Like, you must ensure that you have done one iteration. Maybe you may or may not understand every single bit of the data that is provided there, but it's important that you go over the whole thing, try to understand everything. But even if you do not, even then you must read it for once, and then in the next iteration you will be doing the practice as well, which is where the 80% PWK exercises thing comes into play. So basically this is the point in time, the central point, the second bullet basically, where you can also earn the 10 bonus points that we mentioned in the previous slide. And then also you get a chance to do a lot of practice, take a lot of notes. No, notes is a must for real world penetration tests, and you can even say that it is a must for the PWK exam. If you do not have good notes, then forget really about having confidence in passing the exam. We ourselves provide a very structured way for our students to take the notes. So we have specific guidelines around that, and we will also show you in the video and in the upcoming sessions about the techniques to take the notes and ensure that everything that you will need in the exam during your challenge is easily available, is easily accessible. That's what is of utmost importance. So then as a next thing, you must complete at least 35 lab machines. Now during the exam, during the PWK preparation, you will observe that guys, that there is almost 55 to 60 PWK lab machines. Now each of those are either standalone or bound with an AD set. We need to make sure that we complete at least 35 lab machines, and we will tell you why. But here's how you can start. Obviously, when you start the exam, you complete the PWK exercises, and also you do the video and PDF, everything. But still, sometimes students find it very difficult to find out where to start. So for that purpose, we recommend our students, or we highly recommend you to go through our learning path. So in the learning path, there are almost 11 machines that OSCP recommends doing first, and then moving to the next of the to the remaining part. So if you complete the 11 machines from the learning path, then you have a good start. So you might be wondering, where are those 11 machines? So we will link all of those things in the description box, so that you can take a look at that, and then simply follow our guidelines and do the rest of the stuff. Then exploit 20 plus more machines. 20, I mean, in total there should be 35, but after doing the learning path machines, you must do at least 20 more machines to be more and more confident. And the final thing would be simulating the exam, as you might have guessed. So basically guys, we highly recommend that you prepare your own simulated exam environment, or get in touch with us, and we can also help you do that. Now when we say simulating environment, what does it mean? Let me go back a couple of slides here. So as you can see, we can get 60 points from 3 standalone machines and 40 points from an AD set. Now what we need to do is basically choose 3 machines which are exam like or from exam, and then also one AD set which should have 2 different lights. Now domain controller should be something which can be in a different network. That depends on the configuration. So basically this is a kind of an environment where you will have a total of 6 machines running in your own environment, or you can have them run in ours. And once these are running, your job would be to basically try and hack into those, and then try to follow one of the approaches shown here to carry out your attacks in a timed manner. Like obviously not you spend 2-3 days on them, but rather try to do them in under, let's say in under a day, in under, let's say 15 hours, 8 hours, ideally 8 hours. And that will help you be more and more confident in ensuring that you have simulated the exam pretty well. Now moving to the next part, which is keys to success. As we have had promised, we would like to show you what are some of the essential keys to success and why is it important. So basically, we have emphasized this thing quite a bit previously as well, that it's important to do the PWK lab machines for two reasons. One, you get a chance to practice, and B, you get 10 bonus points, right? So this is a statistical data from OFSEC, where they show that if the students do less than 11 machines on the leftmost side, there are almost 28% students who have passed, and then it gradually increases. So as you can see, if the students who completed 11 to 20 machines, the pass ratio was around 40%, and then similarly, if for the students who completed 21 to 30 machines, their pass rate was 52%, and it gradually rises. So the students who completed machines from 61 to 70, their pass rate has been 85%, which is pretty surprising. And it gives you it certainly gives a lot of confidence. So basically, for our students, or we recommend completing at least 35 machines, which increases the chances to at least 54%. Now again, this is a statistical data, and from our own experience, we have seen that the students who complete at least 30 machines, their chances are actually drastically higher. Like obviously this statistical data is important, but what we are telling you is that if you really invest a good amount of time and effort, then even completing 30 to 40 machines is a lot more than enough. So with that said, we will head on to the next slide. And here basically we are going to take a look at how the exam challenges look like. So basically on this slide, what you're looking at is a list of TJNL machines. Again, we will add the link in the description box below, so that you can later on take a look at this spreadsheet that you are seeing the screenshot of right now. The link is also available there, but we will put it in the description box as well. So what does this show? If you can see closely here, basically there was this PWK V1, the previous version of OSCP, and then the recent one, which is PWK V3. This is the latest basically list of machines that one must do or complete before appearing the exam. Not all of them, but most of them, and which ones specifically we will guide you as we progress further. So this list has a few machines from Hack the Box, and down below, if you go to the spreadsheet, there are also some machines from PG Practice, PG Play, etc. All of the platforms that one must attempt before considering to appear in the exam. Take the example of Pandora, Broker, Intentions, and Soccer. So these are some of the boxes which we have seen that have a lot of relevance to the OSCP exam. In parallel, if you take a look at this blue column which says Windows boxes, in here some are very important, such as Forest, and these are the machines which basically give you not only the experience of attacking standalone machines, but also they give you an experience or a taste of how does it look like to compromise an AD set or an Active Directory machine. So this is some of the practice that one must follow or do in order to be sure that they are reasonably well prepared for the exam. And we will be sharing with you the write-ups, the walkthroughs, or detailed guidelines around how to approach each of those machines and how to complete them in order to progress further and accelerate your progress. Similarly, on the right hand side, in the red in the red column, what you see is more challenging than OSCP, but good experience, good practice, which means these are recommended but not essentially required. We have quite a few students who have already completed some of those machines, and it is recommended to do them, but at least the ones in yellow and blue are essential to ensure that at least 30 to 40% of those machines are completed. And once these are done, we will be reasonably confident, okay, now I can go ahead, do the PWK lab machines, and then consider appearing in the exam. right? So again, the intent of all of our efforts is to ensure that you pass the exam in your first attempt. And then there is this a psychological phenomena that I would like to talk about here, is that some people might say, in different articles, different blogs, different videos, some people say all the time, okay, that's fine, you don't always pass the exam in your first attempt, and that should be acceptable. But I have a slightly different opinion based on my experiences. So what happens is that 24 hours of exam and then another 24 hours of report is really not something that one wants to go over again and again. One must try that you pass the exam in your very first attempt, because 24 hours is a lot of time and you don't really want to spend it time and again. It should be your very first attempt where you try and pass the exam in under 12 hours. That's what our topmost priority is, and that's what we're striving for at 591 lab, to not only accelerate but also ease the overall process for our students. Next, I'm now going to show you how you can simulate the exam environment, or essentially how we usually simulate the exam environment for our students. So basically, again, the intent is to follow the exam pattern, the latest one. So what you do is you set up three different machines with an Active Directory. That will simulate the AD set. And if you remember from our previous presentation or conversation, basically this thing will give you 40 points. So if you set up an Active Directory and two clients, that is worth 40 points. And similarly, you will need to set up three additional standalone machines, which means a total of 6 lab machines. So we will show you which ones you can choose. Like, we will show you a few of the options as we progress in our upcoming videos. And what you need to essentially do is time your overall efforts. By timing your efforts, we mean that basically you need to make sure that you have a timer set, and you say, okay, I'm going to start the exam one fine day. I'm going to start the exam and I will make sure that I complete the AD set in under 4 hours. Pretty doable. We can tell you with guarantee that there is just a couple of techniques that you need to learn, and then doing the AD set worth 40 points is very, very easy for you to do and get all those 40 points. And then we recommend that you repeat this kind of a practice session over and over again, at least 2-3 times. And if you repeat them and essentially at least do one iteration before a week of your exam, then it will really drastically increase your chances, because you will have already set in a similar environment. And for the people who say, okay, fine, you can do the exam attempts a couple of times, it will even be good for from that perspective as well. But again, our intent is to make sure that you do the practice and then eventually appear in the exam and just smash it right away. Just like several of our students have done already. They would appear in the exam and they would be like, hey, I have done this, I have lived these kind of things. So it becomes pretty easy for you, since you have done similar kind of a stuff, just like you would experience in the exam over and over again. So we highly recommend that, and it's pretty doable if you really properly plan this thing. So managing time efficiently, when this topic comes into play, basically if you have not already taken any OSCP exam, we would like to tell you that basically you can take any number of breaks. You can tell them that tell the proctor. In the previous video, we told you about how the proctoring experience looks like. So, the video link will be available in the description box below, and you can certainly take a look at that as well. But the summary of the overall conversation is that basically you will be being monitored by the proctor, but during your session, you can just drop a message to the proctor and say, hey, I want to take a break. And they would be okay, fine. When you are done with your break, the break can be for eating, taking rest, sleeping, all sorts of things, your call. And when you are back, you just drop a message, hey proctor, I'm back. They would say, okay, fine, you can now resume. And during this window, you can have your VPN running so that you continue to do the scans and everything. And one thing is very essential, guys: never fall prey of fatigue. Never. If you're tired, it will be very difficult for you to attempt the exam, and you will become nervous, which is the second part of the picture, which is that don't be nervous, do not panic, guys. Even if you feel like, hey, 7-8 hours have passed and I haven't done anything, don't worry, 24 hours is a lot of time. It's way more than enough for the exam itself. We have seen students passing in just 6, 7, 8 hours. It's really that long of an exam. It's just that you need to be patient. You need to ensure that you have your notes ready. Just like we emphasized in one of our previous slides, we will show you what is the best pattern of taking notes, so that when you need a certain command, it should be right at your fingertips. You say, hey, I need to move a file, and moving that file, the command to move that file should be just a click away. That kind of notes. If you have those kind of notes and that kind of an approach, then passing the exam is really not a big deal. So again, it's more about taking good notes, not being nervous, and managing the time efficiently. If you follow those kind of things, then really 24 hours is, you'll be like, hey, I have done the exam, what do I do now? We have seen our students doing the exam, submitting the report even before their time of the exam itself expired. So, it's going to be very doable if you continue to follow our lead. Then this slide basically is going to be our second last for the day, which shows you what are the reporting requirements. So basically, OFSEC overall requires you to ensure that you are able to document all of your findings in a very efficient and a very formal way. For that purpose, if you see on the left hand side, it requires you to document your exercises and lab notes, which is these days more helpful for your own practice. And on that regard, notes are not recommended, by the way. They are required to pass the exam. If you take a look at the leftmost point that we have put here, they are, like, some people would say it's recommended to take good notes. No, guys, it's essential. If you do not have notes, it's going to be very difficult during the exam to get hold of something. You might have an idea, but if you start researching during the exam itself, it's going to be very difficult for you to browse the internet, go to GitHub pages, browse random sites, just because you do not have good notes. So notes are essential part. We'll guide you, we will give you our own notes as we progress further, to make sure that you have good ground to stand on. So that is recommended. We cannot really emphasize this enough. So then ensure that lab report contains the rightmost part. Look, this is super essential. There are several students who do everything to the perfection, but when it comes to the report, some of the content is still missing. So we try and make sure that our students do this kind of a practice over and over again, which requires that you must, in your report, you must submit all of the flags. Flags is basically the proof that you have compromised one or two machines, the certain machine. Then you must enter all of the steps that you took to produce the attack vectors, and then you must also put the reference links. Now the reference links should be put in a way that let's say you found an exploit on GitHub and you had to modify a certain part of it, then you just mention that, hey, this is the part that I modified and rest of the exploit is available on GitHub, or let's say on exploit DB. But usually what we recommend is to put the whole exploit code, unless it is several pages long. We recommend usually to put the whole exploit code, because sometimes in our experience, now this is pure experience, we have seen that sometimes people on GitHub may put an exploit code and then later on modify it, and when the examiner is testing your report, they may be like, hey, what the hell, I am unable to find the report on find the exploit code on GitHub. That's because the guy who owned the GitHub might have modified that. So always put the entire exploit code to be sure, and not be dependent on anyone else, which is really not good. Then finally, you must also have screenshots of all of the proofs, all of the flags that you captured, all of the steps that you took. These are really super important, because once you're done with the exam, you will not have the chance to go back, take another screenshot. So during the exam, make sure that you take plenty of screenshots so that you can make use of them during your exam. Next would be our conclusion. So basically, as a conclusion, we must say that we really appreciate the time that you're spending with us, and we hope that this effort will greatly enhance the cybersecurity landscape of globally. We are putting effort to teach, you are putting effort to learn, and I think it's a great match, and we are excited about it. and we really hope that the overall material that we are delivering is helpful for you. And in case you would like to get in touch with us, please do so, because we would really like to even have one-on-one sessions with you for this certification or others that you want to pursue as part of your career progression. If you have any questions or comments that you would like to add, please feel free to put them in the comment box below. And please do make sure to also subscribe to our YouTube channel so that we can increase the reach of this kind of quality content more and more globally, so that we can be a better world and a secure world by performing the offensive security and penetration testing. So with that said, I would like to also mention that in the upcoming videos we will dive deeper into how to take notes and essentially do some of the actual lab like exam machines as well. We will show you the walkthroughs and in a unique way. When we say unique, basically we mean that in a way which is not available as such on general internet. You will just we will just try to make sure that you feel how does it look like to sit in the exam and feel that challenge. That's what our intent is, to make sure that we produce extraordinary content which helps you is kind of smash the exam, as we say, as we call it. So with that said, let's call it a day and see you in the next video with more and more practical stuff. Have a good rest of the day or night, depending on whichever time zone you are. Thank you. Bye.